Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Jay, aka The Strategy, aka Mama. There goes that man again, aka I'm so disrespectful, aka the man by many names. You're tuning into another Walking Dead review show. It's like every time I think these writers can't outdo themselves, they outdo themselves. First and foremost, I gotta clear up some things. A lot of people were mad at me because I didn't, in my last review, cover the car crash. That's because the person who was in the car crash, I wanted her to die. The reason why I wanted her to die is because I saw what happened in this episode coming. And before we get into that, let me give y'all a rundown. Okay, the episode starts off basically where it left off. Rick, Glenn, and them were in the bar right after Rick killed those two guys, and they were on their way to get ready to leave, and the guy's crew came looking for them. And this episode did so much with character development, it's not even funny. Basically, they were getting ready to leave the bar after they killed the guys, and the guys who they killed, their crew showed up. They were like, have you seen them? And they could have just started shooting and took them out, but once again, Rick showed his humanity and was like, they drew on us. He actually explained why he killed them. They started firing, and Glenn, basically, they told Glenn to go to the back door and try to make a run to the car. He shot at one of them. He missed, of course. Herschel went to cover him, and basically they shot at Glenn, and he hid, like the bullet hit the wall behind him, and he got scared and he played dead. And I was like, and at first I thought he was dead, and I'm like, wow, I didn't want to see him go like that. I'd rather seen him get killed by a walker, not by a bullet to the back. But he wasn't dead, and he got up, and anywho, and they got out of the situation. And the gunshots of them shooting, the two groups are shooting at each other, and they're attracting walkers. Herschel shot one of the guys in the chest, and he didn't kill him, but he shot him in the chest, and we saw him get ripped to fucking shreds by walkers. Like, the guy drove up in a white truck, and one of their men was posting on the building shooting at them. And he was like, we gotta go. He's like, walkers all over the place. He's like, just jump. So he jumps, and, he ends up getting his leg impaled on a thing. And he's screaming, help me, please, help me, help me. The guy who was like, we gotta go, and told him to jump off the roof, drove off. He's like, sorry. He left his ass. Rick, this is another thing to show me Rick didn't lose all his fucking humanity. Rick went to save him. That's right. Rick went to save this kid. And Herschel was like, we can put him out of his misery. And Rick didn't do it. They just basically ripped his leg out of it, and they took him back to the farm. They blindfolded him, of course. But this just goes to show that Rick didn't lose his humanity. I thought Rick was, but Rick could have left him there, but he didn't. He didn't want to leave him there. Walkers are all around. Glenn snapped out of his little bitch mode, and Glenn's like, we need to go. They're shooting at Walker, so they save him. People were mad because my last review, I didn't tell you what happened to Lori. That's because I want Lori to die. And I'm going to get a lot of hate, but you guys leave comments and you explain why you think she shouldn't die. But I'm going to tell you why she should die. Lori is going to make Rick choose between her and Shane. Lori is a funny character, and the reason why she's a funny character is because she is in love with Shane. She's in love with Rick, but she wishes Rick had the personality of Shane. And the reason why I say that is because if you think of all the things that Rick does, she's the counter opposite to. She proposes what Shane would propose. And the writers touched on this in this episode too. So basically, she fought off the car. She got into the car crash. She fought off two walkers, stabbed one of them in the eye, shot the other one in the head, and basically she didn't tell anybody that she was going out. And finally, Shane found her, and he lied to her and told her Rick was at the farm, and that's what got her to come back to protect her. Now, she came back, and you know, and she's like, it's not your place. And they were talking in a room, and she was like, I told Rick about the baby. I told him about us. And he was basically like, well, did you tell him that it was a mistake? And then he basically changed. He's like, no, it wasn't a mistake. He's like, I'm in love with you, and I feel and my feelings for you are not fake. And he's like, deep down inside, you feel the same way too, because Shane embodies everything that she would like Rick to be. And that's why I always felt she was going to make Rick choose, or manipulate somehow to get Rick to take Shane out. Plain and simple. Because if you just think about the pure concept of Rick killing Shane, that goes against everything he stands for. Rick, in this episode, saved somebody who was trying to kill him. So you want him to kill his best friend? It goes against everything he stands for. And that's why I kind of was hoping she died in that damn car crash, because I felt this coming. Another thing that happened in this episode, we saw Carla. Well, alright, we all know that Daryl took the loss of Carla's daughter really, really, really hard. He took it harder than anybody, because he invested the most time, he invested the most emotion. I would say the only person who rivaled him in emotions invested would be Carla herself, but he invested the most time in everything. He took it really hard, and after she died, after they found out she was already dead, he kind of started pulling away from the group. And Carla was another one of those characters who really wasn't my favorite, but she really showed that she's very strong, a very strong woman. Because she basically went to Daryl, and and she was like, I'm not gonna let you pull away. And he was like, and she was like, I'm not gonna let you pull away from the group. I'm not gonna let you pull away from the group. And he just started going off on her. He's like, you dumb bitch. If you would have felt that way about your daughter, she would have still been alive. And she just looked at him, and she's like, okay. She's like, and she took the abuse from him. She took it. She stood there and took it. And he flinched like he wanted to hit her, and she just chucked her chin up and closed her eyes like she was going to take it. And I was like, damn, that takes a strong woman who wants him to be around so much. She was willing to take that. And I was like, wow, maybe she's stronger than what I thought she was. So anyway, Rick and them get back from saving the kid, and T-Dog's like, who the hell is that? And it's the new kid, I forget his fucking name, the guy who's shooting at him. Explains himself, and Herschel, and Rick explains himself, and of course Shane, he's like, you motherfuckers are living in La La Land, and he walks out the house, and Herschel checked him. He's like, listen, we still ain't even got to what the fuck you did to my born. He's like, but I'm gonna lay down something right here and now. This is my form. And he basically like, y'all was a hillbilly tick away from getting kicked out, but Rick convinced me to let y'all stay. And after saying that, Shane, he kind of checked Shane, but you can tell that Shane didn't respond the way he wanted to, because everybody was there. If that conversation would have took place like with just him and Shane would have probably did some foul shit. But Shane walked out, and a scene with Shane and Amy came up right after that scene, and Amy was like, the calls that you make, and I felt this way too, the calls that Shane, even though I don't like Shane, makes the right calls. Besides him killing Odell, besides him killing that one guy, which I don't think was the right call, most of his calls are right. And she's like, it's not that you make the bad calls, it's your presentation to the calls. The way that you present them turns everybody off. But she was like, you are the sole reason why this group is alive. And I agree. Because before Rick came to the picture, Shane kept the group alive. They're into a new dilemma. Rick brought this guy back, and I do think that once he heals up and they let him go, he is going to bring them back, and they are going to start a war. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, you guys leave some comments and you tell me what do you think about my thoughts, and what did you guys think about the episode. And oh, by the way, next Sunday, I'm gonna post my Blog TV link in the description box below. And maybe next Sunday, if you guys aren't doing anything, you can come on over and click on my blog TV link and we watch the episode together. I don't know, it's just something to throw out there. I'm going to do it. If you have time to stop by, come back and watch it with your boy. If you don't, hey, it is what it is, man. So I'm signing off, man. This has been your boy Jay, aka the man by many names.